Oliver Stone here for another edition of the Temple Wildcat Coaches Show, brought to you by Wings, Pizza, and Things in Temple. Here with Temple Wildcat head coach Scott Stewart, and congrats on the win, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Over Magnolia West, 41-13.
Yep.
And I feel just watching the game, you know, it was almost like a state of awe, because it was just like, I feel like everyone's expecting a lot closer game, and the whole time I was in the booth, you know, broadcasting the game, this is what I preached before the game, and even told you, you know, speed kills, straight punishes, and I feel like it was just evident from the get-go when we got on the field. I feel like it was just overwhelming for them, and I feel like that's the ultimate balance to, you know, these bigger teams we'll be seeing going forward is our speed. You know, the same way you said, you know, they're a pretty good team. We're a pretty good team ourselves, and at the end of one good team, we'll be going home, and you know, it's the survival of the fittest, and we got it done. And another week. So, how do you feel the game went from your perspective?
You know, we got a lot of work to do. I'm always the guy that's going to figure out first and foremost and focus on what we have to work on. But I was really proud of the intensity and kind of the aggressiveness that our kids brought to the table. And I don't think that was any particular reason. You know, I don't think our kids get caught up in a lot of who's on the other sideline, or at least that's what we preach. I mean, so, you know, we had some things go our way. We had 3 turnovers there pretty quick in the second quarter. And games can get out of hand when stuff like that happens. And, you know, we've talked for the last couple of weeks about mistakes are magnified in big ball games. And so, you know, fortunately for us, we were able to cause some problems for them and cause, you know, 3 pretty quick turnovers. And I think the game just got away from them a little bit. And then, you know, what we've got to work on is worry about is being the best us we can be. We got a lot of stuff to fix off the field. So, but I was proud of the way our kids came out and played, and they were aggressive, and we flew around, and you know.
And it was nice to see the O-line. I feel like, you know, that 3-4 that they were running, you know, I saw soon enough they started bringing that linebacker down and couldn't form the line, because, I mean, they had to respect the run.
Right.
And even though we were still getting holes and still, you know, like I said, I feel like offensive coach's dream, you know, 4 or 5 yards of play, and y'all definitely had some of those, like those real just meticulous drives, those that just wear defense out. You know, those are the worst, where you just, like I said, you start seeing the stances get sloppy, and you just see the heads on the defense just start to hang down a little bit. It's just like, can we stop them?
We had a couple of long drives in that first half, that first quarter especially. And I mean, Magnolia West had 5 offensive snaps in the first quarter. Yeah. You know, so I never heard of that stat before, but
at all.
You know, that's a tribute to our offense and sustaining drives and you know, moving sticks and stuff like that. So I was proud of it.
Definitely. And kind of something that's really good to see now. You got Jared Wiley kind of looking like the X factor for y'all. You know, I feel like he's finally seeing that grown man body he has. He's starting to really feel into it and see, hey, you know, I can really just throw it up.
Yeah, he's a special kid, and you know, he's a competitor, and hadn't been just real. I mean, part of his MO is he hadn't been real high on the mature level, but he's getting there. You know, I mean, he's a baby. He's a junior, but he's young for a junior, and so, you know, sometimes these kids just got to develop, and you know, I saw quite a few kids last year during the playoffs kind of turn into, go morph into a different kid, morph into a different person, and that's what playing in the playoffs gives you. You know, I mean, you're playing life or death. It's not regular. I mean, you play 10 regular season games and you're done for the season. Sometimes you don't get that edge about you, just because. I mean, the only game that really truly mattered was the last one, because that was the last one. You know, now you never know what your last one is, and you got to fight your tail off to get another one. So. I think, you know, some of that mentally is the part where they grew up a little bit, and Jared's obviously done a really good job in the playoffs of kind of being a weapon for us and you know, trying to find some matchups.
Like that's just something else to add to, you know, the stable of running backs, and you know, the Deontay Hextall, you know, Xavier. You know, it's just another weapon to add. And I mean, it's when you're well rounded like that on offense, you know, and these past 2 games, I can definitely say, and I feel like you may agree with me, been kind of 2 of y'all more complete games to them. And especially to kind of be catching stride right now in the playoffs, because, you know, the competition is just going to continue to get tougher and tougher. So it's definitely a good thing to see. And I imagine you have to, like how, y'all kind of trying to stride. And
yeah, I think TJ's doing a good job spreading the ball around, and I think we're doing a decent job of taking what the defense gives. I mean, I'm gonna tell you some of that stuff. That was a really good front seven the other night, and there were some times where I like to see 5-yard runs, but there were sometimes we got stoned at the line of scrimmage, and so the only way to loosen that up a little bit is to throw the ball around the park, and TJ did some of that, and they had to loosen up those 8-backs a little bit at some point, and then we kind of found a little bit of stride running the ball, and it was nice to see. We didn't move the ball exceptionally effectively in the second half. In fact, this first thing I said when I got off the bus and all the coaches just rolled their eyes at me is we got beat in the second half. We got beat 7-3. So, it's a nice problem to have when you're up 30, or we got beat 7-3. But when you're up 38-6 at halftime, it tends to not matter. But I just like people give people a hard time.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, that's why you hit Huncho around here. It's got.
I mean, I say that half-heartedly, but I mean, there's an ounce of truth in everything you're saying. So, it's hard for me. I don't care what the score is. It's hard for me to just say, okay, well, it's kind of out of hand, so let's get sloppy now. And I tell these kids all the time, I don't care what your number is, I don't care what color you are, I don't care what your last name is. If you step on the field in those pants, then there's a high level of expectation, there's a high level of execution that is expected out of you. And if you can't handle it, then you're not going to like me very much.
Exactly. And I feel to a point, a lot of people don't realize when you got such a big lead like that early, it's difficult because it's like, okay, we're comfortable, but at the same time, I mean, we still got a whole half a ball. You never know. I mean, we've seen things happen.
Right. I mean, we scored that many points in a half, so why can't they? They run the same offense we do.
Yeah.
And the points they did get were all busted coverages, and so it's just that's the kind of stuff drives me crazy.
Yeah.
We're still up there and it's 38 to whatever, and people are looking at me like, why are you freaking out over one touchdown? Because it ain't about the touchdown. It's about understanding the situation of the game. We don't give up cheap stuff when we got a lead, and we damn sure don't bust coverages. And so, I mean, that's kind of stuff drives me crazy. And that's kind of I emulate those that I know that are uber successful. When I watch people like Urban Meyer and I watch people like Nick Saban, I'm not those guys. I don't even deserve to be mentioned in the same sentence. But I do try to emulate those people. They are uber successful at what they do. And so I'm not trying to be them. I'm just trying to say that style works. Watching Nick Saban coach, it could be 58-3, and he's out there just grinding their tails off, and he's got the backups in, and he's grinding their tails off because there's an expectation of excellence in that program, and that's what I want here. And so, everybody, it's hard to enjoy coaching a football game. I love what I do, but it's not fun. I mean, I take that back. I enjoy it, but it's not fun. I mean, there's nothing fun about a football game. There's nothing fun about it because all you're doing is focused on grinding. All you're doing is focused on, out scheming the other person. That's not fun. The fun is when the game's over. The enjoyment is when you get to see the kids celebrate and you get to see them be successful. But I mean, there's nothing fun about it.
All right, well, y'all heard it here. We're trying to emulate greatness over here. So I mean, I feel like we do that. We got bigger and better things on the horizon. But after the break, I'll come back with Coach Stewart and we'll talk about our challenge this week with Port Arthur Memorial. All right. And welcome back to the Temple Wildcat Coaches Show, brought to you by Wings, Pizza, and Things in Temple. Back here with Temple Wildcat head coach Stewart, and this week we got somebody else that we saw again in the playoffs, Port Arthur Memorial, and I know we got to take a trip down there. Good old Prairie View A&M play this ball game. So, Coach, how these guys looking?
Unbelievably fast. I mean, this is a group that's going to be polar opposite of what we saw a week ago, and they were last year and they will be this year. They're the most athletic team we'll play. I mean, it is pure speed. They set a national record in one of the relays last year in track, and I think 3 or maybe even 4 of those guys are back on the football team. So, unbelievable running back. Good quarterback. Quarterback was the safety and kind of the receiver and the backup last year. Coach's son was the quarterback last year. He's just he's a dude. A big offensive line, crazy speed at the skill receivers. Defense is their outside linebackers are 6'2", 230, you know, and run. I mean, it's going to be completely opposite. This is going to be, can we keep up with them, because they are a much faster football team than we are, and you know, hopefully your analogy won't work this week.
Yeah.
But again, they were last year. You guys, it's the fast team I played. Probably I don't remember a fast one. I mean, we played them. I was a defense coordinator at Westfield when we played them against Jamal Charles back in the day. And
oh wow.
It's a little bit like that. I mean, they're that fast across the board. That's what Port Arthur is. Go to track meet. You're gonna go to track meet. You're gonna see Port Arthur put on a show, Port Arthur Memorial, and so you know they're very well coached. They're very good. They're very fast. Very 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 fast, and just athletic, and you know they score a ton of points.
I'm you know, y'all can see this world. I don't think I've ever heard Coach say we got somebody that's faster than us. You know, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. I mean, most of their football players run track, and I mean, they did it last year. They'll do it. I mean, they run us off the track as far as we got some kids that can roll, but just across the board, they're a faster football team than we are. So, and they were last year. Yeah.
I mean, they were last year. The trick with that is you got to try to keep them in front of you if you can, and so you know. Defensively, they get up in your face. They bring a lot of pressure. They're very well coached. They're very good, but they're exceptionally fast football team. So
it sounds like basically we're gonna have us a challenge where we're dealing with a good amount of physicality, a lot more, I guess, speed across the board.
Yeah,
you know, rather than what we've seen. So I mean, it's definitely gonna be a challenge. I mean, what would you expect? I mean, this is.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we said last week. There's no bad football teams left. Yeah, and so they only get better. I mean, you know, this week, and I mean, you know, what is there, 8 left in our 16? Yeah. There's I guess 4 left in our region. Yeah, you know what I mean. So there's 16 left in the entire state of Texas. So yeah, there's probably not. You start with 250 and you're down to 16. You ain't got no bad football teams left. So. You know, it's not any kind of speed we just absolutely have not seen before, but it's been a while. You know, I mean, they were the fastest team we played last year, and so now it's a matter of tweaking your scheme to try to stay. You just try to stay in front. You know, and offensively, you try to take what they give you. You know, you got to make them pay. You can't let them. You can't give them any cheap ones. We can't go toe to toe with big plays with these guys. Oh, yeah. Because they got more weapons than we do. So. You know, you try to minimize the damage. You try to make them earn everything they get and roll with it that way. I
feel like at the end of the day, that's all you can do. Like I said, we can talk about all the speed they got. We can talk about how great we are. But I mean, once we get on that field, I mean, hey, I mean, this is what you do it for. I mean, to be out here playing football. It'll be December. It'll be December, and we still out here playing Texas high school football. Forgive me. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is what you do it for, and especially I feel like when watching film, like okay, yeah, it's cool. But hey, you know, I mean, we've been doing this, so I know if we get out here, do what we need to do, handle our business on the practice field, I mean, we can get it done. Yeah,
so. And it's going to be adjusting to the speed. You know, they had the Vincent kid last year that ran a 20-point in the 200 meters, and probably the fastest kid I've seen on a football field personally in my entire life. You know, he got away from us one time, and we had to make an adjustment on the speed. And, you know, the whole key there is to try to get them before they get going. Because if you ain't got anybody to run with them, then don't run with them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you try to tweak the scheme, and you hope that you can stand in front of them, and you hope that you can keep them in front of you. And, you know, again, I don't spend a lot of time on the offensive side of the ball, but I got to think it's the same thing over there. Is you cannot miss opportunities if you get one. You know, if they make a misfire, if they do something here, you've got to take advantage of opportunities because they're gonna cover up mistakes. It was the same thing last year. I mean, Jemiah Franklin was probably one of the fastest kids that's ever come through Temple, and he would bust one. And where that used to be 60 yards last year against Port Arthur, it was 15, 20 yards. You know, they're gonna catch it. They're going to. Period. So, you know, you've got to take every advantage you can with those mistakes, and if you hit an advantage, if you get a matchup, you know, and try to make them defend the entire field and use it, you know, they're fast, they swarm, they're well coached, and so it'll be a good football game hopefully.
All right, well there it is. I mean, so I could say we got like a speed on speed type matchup, so I feel like, you know, this is definitely a game where, you know, you need to come out. You know, you definitely probably, I mean, we don't want it to be just a show both ways, but, you know, you're definitely
If it turns into a track meet, I'll probably end up over there at one of those hospitals in that Northwest Houston area because I don't do that very well. So
I don't think I couldn't imagine being in your position and having something like that. I imagine you'd probably be a pretty red individual over there.
Yeah, they'll have the AEDs out and all that kind of stuff. It turns in. I mean, I look at some of these scores. It's like 56 to 53, and I mean, you might as well just count me out. I don't think my heart can take that kind of stuff. You know, I mean. We give up 20 points, and I'm fussy. So, and not that we won't. I mean, they can score, and they can score in bunches, and they can score quick. I mean, they may very well score a half 100, but oof, that's a tough way to go out.
Oh yeah, well, we're not even gonna speak on that. Yeah, we ain't even gonna speak on that one.
Y'all might want to check on me if that's going on.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If that's the case, I'll definitely be impressed. Coach Good.
But yeah, I mean, there's some really good football teams that have given up a lot of points to these guys. So you come up with a good plan, you execute the plan. I mean, bottom line is, Oliver, is that we ain't getting kids moving here. If we don't match up with somebody well, then we got to make up for that in aggression. We got to make up for that and tweaking some stuff and changing some looks and just turn your kids loose, and that's always going to be enough. Even if you're not successful in a football game, and I love playing the state championships. I've played in quite a few, but I didn't get there by thinking I was going to be there. I got there by every week thinking that this could be the last one, and you fight your guts out. You fight with everything you got. You give every fiber of your being towards not going home. And then if that's enough, that's enough. And if it ain't, we'll fire and fall back and try it again. But, I don't – people get on me, well, how come you don't talk about winning? Well, because it ain't a guarantee. And if I sit there and focus on the next round, I mean, I've never overlooked an opponent in my life. Yeah. And so – and these guys, you overlook these guys, you will go home. I mean, because they're that good. So, it just is what it is.
All right, well, y'all heard it there. Like we said, we got a task on our hands, but hey, everybody's got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. So, hey, we'll see what happens Friday. But after the break, we'll be right back at the Temple Wildcat Coaching Show. And welcome back to the Temple Wildcat Coaching Show, brought to you by Wings, Pizza, and Things in Temple. And I'm here with Coach Farrell, one of the, like I said, masterminds behind the defense here. And congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you.
Pretty looked like the defense went out and played a heck of a game. We're just flying around. Lots of turnovers were forced. I mean, of course, you got a couple things that you can look back on and say, we got to fix this, fix that. Sure. There's never just a perfect game. But I feel like for us to go out and just that team to just score 13 points on us, I feel like it really opened a lot of eyes.
Played well early, but got to give a lot of credit to our offense too. I think in the first quarter we only had somewhere between, I can't remember if it was 5, 6, or 7 plays, 5 plays in the first quarter. I mean, when you're sitting on the bench, it's pretty hard to give up yards. So our offense did a great job, and then we did capitalize on turnovers and special teams, and we had one. So that created a snowball early that was really effective. And first half played pretty solid throughout. Had one major miscue, and then the second half we were, a little here and there. I wish we would have finished a little bit stronger, but it was good to go out and have a good, convincing playoff win.
Definitely, and I feel like the public was thinking, we're going to win, but they just felt like it was going to be a lot closer of a game. Mm-hmm. And like you were saying, big credit to the offense. In all the years of me playing football and being around football, I've never heard a team just having 5 snaps.
Right.
In the first quarter.
It was weird. You're kind of going back and talking to them about things they could be doing, things that at some point you run out of stuff to talk about. You're sitting on the bench for a while. It's like, well, it's a good thing, But Magnolia West, they're a really good football team. Yeah. I mean, we put them in a bad spot with the turnovers, and then our offense capitalizing on the turnovers to that game could have gone a lot of different ways. It got out of hand early because of turnovers, and that happens when you capitalize on people's mistakes. But they're a great football team, and I'm glad those things happened early because you stick around, you never know. But definitely good to have a convincing one.
And it's always tough. Something I was talking about to Coach Stewart. I don't think people realize how tough it is to play when you have such a huge lead, especially dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-olds to a point. They kind of be like, oh, we done won this game. But the thing of it is, when you go up winning by about 32 points at the end of the first half, I mean, you got a whole other 24 minutes of football left. And it's tough. People don't realize, it's cool to be in that position, but at the same time, it's still grueling because you have to make sure you're on your P's and Q's to make sure that you don't slip up and let this huge lead, you know.
It is. It takes some maturity, and we've done a better job of that in the past. You know, I mean, we had big leads against University and bigger leads against, I think it was Waco and Bryan, and did a little bit better in those situations, just kind of closing it out. And not that we didn't close it out, but there were just some things later in the game that we got to continue to build there. Our kids did a great job. You know, we got some guys in that made some plays that hadn't played a little bit in a little while, and that gives you growth too.
Yeah, and it's definitely good to have such a big lead in a playoff game like that where you can kind of, you know, sit the starters down and let some more guys rotate in because, like I'm saying, you know, the competition that we got coming, you know, you never know when, you know, somebody might need a breather and like, you have to make sure somebody can get in there and play their role, you know, because it's always next snap. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when your number's going to be called, so you always want to make sure that you're ready. But like I was saying, we got a lot of speed we're going to be dealing with this week with Port Arthur Memorial. I know they always, even last year, I know they have always had plenty of speedsters, and it's same thing this year. You know, and I was telling Coach, I don't think I've ever sat here and talked to you before and really talked to feel like a team has more speed than us. And that's what he's saying. He feel like more across the board, they have a whole lot more speed. So I feel like it's definitely. Maybe it's kind of a polar opposite of what we saw last week. I feel like that was a lot more of just size and whatnot, but now we really, you know, got a lot of speed we're dealing with. So
yeah, that's definitely their identity is they're very fast. They got a really good running back. The quarterback can run well. Got a receiver that played up for a little while this year at the Woodlands, and then came back home, and he's really fast. And then there's another one that can burn it off the edge. So definitely a lot of speed. It forces you to tackle well. We've had our ups and downs this year with tackling. We feel like we've started to tackle a little better here as of late, and that'll be put to the test on Friday night for sure. Because when you have speed, you have to use the full extent of your technique. You can't. When things are slower, you know, it's obviously easier. So those are the things: get off blocks, set edges, and you know, stay dominant in the throwing game, and make tackles.
Yeah, I feel like like I said, we were talking about this early in the season. You know, those little things get magnified in these big ball games. You know, that was like last week with Magnolia West getting like those 3 turnovers early on. You know, that stuff gets magnified in these big games. So you definitely want to make sure you're tackling proper, and you don't want to go up missing tackles because with these guys, I feel like you miss a tackle.
Yeah. If you miss one, I mean, you're going to pay for it, and you got to have good pursuit. And one tackle shouldn't lead to a touchdown. One missed tackle shouldn't lead to a touchdown. But we're going to have to run our butts off, get to the ball, and.
I feel like this is probably one of those weeks of practice that people dread because there's probably like the pursuit drill. And,
oh sure, but that's a mainstay. That one,
exactly.
That one we kind of.
I would say that's I know with us that was something that was always around. But I feel like these are the kind of games when you think about back here. This is where that comes in handy, know, because you never know, And I feel like there's something here. I see whenever we go to the ball, it's a pursuit. There's a number of bodies coming. It's not just going to be that one person on the island making a tackle. Before you know it, you might see that one person. Before you know it, there's 2, 3, 4.
Sure, that happens from time to time, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't be. It would have to be one bad missed tackle. And sometimes you miss a tackle, but you force the ball carrier to stop and hesitate and change direction long enough for your teammates to get there. You just can't have that blatant missed tackle where the ball carrier just has one jab step and then gets to go. And then that's what really gapes. It makes some gaping holes.
And it sounds like with this group, they do have that big play ability, to do that. So it's going to be key that, that everyone reads their keys, just, know your role, do your job.
Exactly. Don't make it complicated. Read your keys, go, and make a play when you get there.
And I feel like this is one of those games as a defense you're excited for because, you may have kind of a test, These guys are supposed to be so fast and whatnot. So I feel like this is one of those games where if I'm a defense, I'm licking my chops. I want a challenge,
Sure.
And right now at this point with, like 16 teams left, I mean, it's definitely a blessing to be saying, we're going to play some football in December.
Right.
Obviously, we know we have that aspiration for bigger and better things, but we got to get it done this Friday.
Right. Those things are nice to look back upon. It's nice to look back upon, playing football in December and stuff like that, but you can't get caught up in them right now. Right now, you just focus on one thing, and that's Port Arthur Memorial and what they're doing, and like you said, find your keys, read them, and go.
All right, well, y'all heard it there. You know, like I said, we got us a test here, and like I said, it's one game at a time. Obviously, we do have bigger aspirations, but obviously we can't get there if we don't handle our business this week. So we're going to wrap up the Temple Wildcat Coaches Show. Like I said, the game will be going on at Prairie View A&M University down good old 290. So y'all need to go ahead. It's about a 2-hour drive from here. We definitely need to blow out our side of the stadium because, I mean, this is a big game, and, you know, our boys out here are going to need y'all support, so come blow out the stadium. And if you want to get one of these, come on out to Wings Pizza and Things on Friday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We'll be in there eating, and we'll be handing out these good old KRock 1017 Temple Wildcat shirts. And then also, if you can't catch the game, we'll be kicking off with the pregame show at 7 o'clock p.m. And then the kickoff will get going at 7:30 p.m. And that'll be 1017 on your dial. And then also, it'll be streaming on KRock1017FM.com. And if you're on the go and you want to listen on your phone, we have the KRock 1017 app brought to you by Wings Pizza and Things, so you can stream the game on there as well. And this will conclude this edition of the Temple Wildcat Coaches Show.